What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the J&J Power Hour. It is me birthday. It's me birthday. I know we're not recording technically on me birthday, but it is me birthday as we release this. So I am now an old man.
As the older man sits here and goes, "No, I don't think you're an old man. I don't think you're an old man at all."
On the back end of my 20s, I'm going into my 30s. Life is just spiraling downhill.
Okay, you're not going into your 30s. What are you turning 26?
Yeah, I'm on the back end of my 20s. I'm
the back end.
I would say because it's after 25, because you're closer to 30. I would call this the back end of.
You're in your mid 20s still. 26 is the last year. The first 21, 22, 23, early 20s, 24, 25, 26. Mid 20s.
Okay, I see the
27,
logic.
28, 29.
I see the logic.
Late 20s.
Well, I have the knees of a 56-year-old, so it's very, okay. It's, age is merely a number. So, it's not how old you are, it's how old you feel. And I feel I'm in my 50s, so that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, you got 10 years on me, man. You got 10 years on me. So.
What the fuck? Well, we got guests here. We might have some other people popping in. We might not. This is truly just going to be just a shoot the shit episode. You see one lovely face down there. You see a logo on the other one. JPQ, who, no offense, JPJ, no offense, Pluggo, but JPQ and I, how long have we known each other now, JPQ? 3 years?
I think we're going on. Three's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Longer.
So we're from. This will be a little bit of an Easter egg for some people. We're Brainbuster Radio brothers. We were on Brainbuster Radio together a few. Oh God, that's been long enough gone now too. That's crazy to think that's where. Well, I kind of got any kind of notice from people was because of Brainbuster Radio. So that's how I met JPQ, and that's how we fell in love over our bond of women's wrestling, because we are women's wrestling stans. We love it.
Yeah.
And JPQ is a lovely man. But how are you doing today? You're driving in your car, the vroom vrooms at the moment. So how are you doing today on this fine, I guess, Monday evening for you?
I'm doing well on me birthday. I'm happy to be here with you, my friend, and happy birthday to you. And I wish you nothing but joy on this happy day, brother.
Look at you. See, take notes, you two. That's how you get brownie points with me. You get an extra airtime. I'll be asking all the questions to JPQ. Because if anyone knows me, my favorite subject in the world is Josh Robinson. So talk to me. It's just, the confidence is just oozing out of me. We also have Pluggo here. We have many Johns here today. Pluggo here. Pluggo's making food. He's making food for his kid. He's looking all sharp. He's looking all great. He hasn't got his hat on. What's going on?
I didn't want to miss the birthday episode, so I'm trying to make dinner while I, the only way Pluggo knows how to do it.
Yeah, multitasking. We love it. We love it.
Birthday, Jeff.
Thank you. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
How's everything with you though, Pluggo? Of course, you know Pluggo from Between Two Beards with JPJ every single Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Tonight, I guess it would be.
Not really. No, it's American Thanksgiving, so not tonight.
Oh, not tonight. It is Thanksgiving in America as this releases, so I don't have any kind of attachment to Thanksgiving.
The second best holiday today, the first being obviously your birthday. So,
but
Thanksgiving taking a back seat to Josh's birthday.
You'll get brownie points there. Yeah,
This ain't my first rodeo.
An hour and a half.
Yeah, we'll just. I mean, okay, so Americans, you're all Americans.
Well, yeah, all right.
Explain to me what the hell Thanksgiving actually is for.
Well, Thanksgiving was based on absolute dog shit.
Well, isn't most holidays though? A lot of holidays are. A lot of things that we celebrate.
A lot of American holidays are, yes. A lot of American holidays. A few American holidays were like, hey, that guy did some horrible shit. But you know what? America. And then that's how they make it.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
So you eat like turkey and stuff, right? You eat like turkey.
We eat turkey, this mashed potatoes, stuffing, there's pies. There's pies for dessert is a big thing. Apple pie, pecan, pumpkin. cranberry sauce. You know, it's a whole
There's
big
not
feast.
a lot of holidays that Pluggo shines, but this is definitely one of them.
Oh yeah, look at not because of what Thanksgiving stands for, but Thanksgiving in general is my favorite holiday. It's very for my family at least. It's very low key, but you get to see family. There's no expectations. You don't got to buy shit for people. You just kind of go, have a really nice meal with your family. You watch some football. I drink a few beers, feel a little good. It's a nice, easy holiday built on horrific, terrible shit.
Huh.
That's how I feel.
Sounds lovely. So because Australians don't really celebrate Halloween. It's not really like it's a kind of a thing. It's certainly more of a thing now than when I was a kid, but like it's not really a big thing. Not everyone celebrates it. So we don't have any holiday. You have like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It's just like Easter and then nothing until Christmas for us. So
in America,
we have a holiday.
Yes, we do have. We do have Thanksgiving, yes, but I feel like the majority, and one of them is Pluggo. Well, not him, but he's got 4 Christmas trees up in his house already. 4.
I have no problem. I'm on your team for this one, Pluggo. I had my Christmas tree up on October 31st.
That's okay, but you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, though, so it doesn't matter. There's not another holiday standing in your way to get to Christmas.
Who made this rule that you can't have a Christmas tree up at the end of October? Who made this rule? Yeah, JPJ, the Grinch. The Grinch over here.
I would like to know JPQ's opinion on this. I already know Pluggo. Yeah, he's going to show us all his.
Yeah, where do you stand on all of this, JPQ? Can you have your Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving in the States?
Depends. Is it real or is it fake?
Ooh,
real tree, fake tree.
Are they all fake, Pluggo? Or are they all real?
No, they're all fake, bro. We're gonna put them up again next.
Yeah, fake tree. You can get up. Yep.
You're in the minority here, JPJ.
Look at I want people to do whatever makes them happy. I'm just ragging on Pluggo. It's ridiculous. I rag on him more for having 4 trees than actually having a tree up. But I mean, 4. Come on.
So
the forest.
We put ours up on October 30th. We watched The Santa Claus.
Like with Tim Allen?
Halloween. Like, didn't even let Halloween happen.
Damn.
No, so we do Halloween, but we don't love Halloween. So we put up the first tree, and then we were like, my wife was like, "Oh, the living room we need more." So she bought a second tree for the kitchen. I don't know.
And then how'd you double that? Got the kids?
Well, those are like little trees. They're just like accent trees, is what I was told. So these trees are not actual; they're little guys.
Got it. Accent trees.
There's a cruiserweight.
Are you guys all? Are you all Halloween people? I'm assuming most Americans are, aren't they? That's just the. Well, that's the look at me generalizing everyone.
Yeah, no, jeez.
I know it's such a trait.
You sound very American. Anyway,
I talk to a lot of Americans. I'm learning.
I'm sorry. I'm going to ruin Josh by the end of this. By the end of this journey on the J&J, I'm going to ruin him. American. But no. I like Halloween. I'm not a super duper big like horror movie fan. I know that, but Halloween in general, in normal times, not the last couple of years, but like when they're, it's one of the few times you can go to like a good party, dress up, have some fun. Halloween parties are always fun, whether you're a younger adult or an older adult. Those are always fun times, at least for me. I don't really eat it. I mean, I do, obviously. I look like me, so I still eat a ton of candy. But it's not like I go trick-or-treating anymore. I'm in my 30s.
Imagine that. Here comes JPJ. Trick-or-treat.
Trick-or-treat. Just give me the Snickers bar, all right? Jeez, don't ask questions. God.
A double up with the mask, without the mask.
yeah, just one, please.
For Halloween to the extent.
I mean, Halloween's fun. I like to celebrate all holidays.
Flag Day?
Not all. That's not true. Columbus Day, fuck off. But,
I don't know anything about it. I've heard about that, and I don't even want to get into that. JPQ, you're a Halloween person, aren't you? I remember talking to you about this. I swear you are.
Yeah, I'm an autumnal fan. So I'm a big apple cider, apple picking kind of fella.
Apple cider
so
donuts.
I feel
apple cider
donuts, wonderful. So anything that is fall related,
Gotcha.
I'm a big fan of.
I align with him. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. You know it. And it's one of those things where if I can knock all that out before Halloween, then bring on Christmas, baby. If I don't get my fill of all the autumnal treats and seasonality of it, then we're going to push that baby off till Thanksgiving.
Fair.
See, it's weird because you guys have like, so I'm trying to get my head around this still. So you guys have all your family get together for Thanksgiving. And then in a month's time again, you get all your family together again for Christmas? Or is like Christmas not a big like family gathering thing in the States?
No, it is.
It is. Christmas is probably a bigger, I don't know, really. Depends on your family, I guess. But
you're talking 1 and 1A.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because I see a lot of my family.
Gosh.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to complain about food, but seeing my family, like some of those family members, you're like, hello, cousin Dan, that I've seen 3 times in my life. Like, I don't know who you are. Like,
that's how it goes. That's exactly what's up. Right?
Like, I don't know if I could do that 2 times a year. I don't know if I could put myself through that, especially within a month of one another. And on top of that, it's usually around my birthday. Money though. A lot of my family will be like, here you go, Josh. I'll be like, thank you for your service. Nice. So I guess so. But yeah, Christmas is the only time of year that I really see my like extended family. And even this year, we can't really do that because this country is backwards with COVID and we can't really travel a lot. Well, that's a lie because they opened the borders yesterday for the state. But I don't know. I can travel internationally again, guys. I can come to the States if I want to now.
Over for Thanksgiving.
Nice.
I'll rock up. What's up, bitches? Teach me about Thanksgiving. What do I got to eat?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, Josh. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, I'm up in the Northeast, so seasonality is important up here. We get all 4, and there's something about it getting cold where you bring these eating holidays into the fold, right? And it's 30 degrees, families together, you're not going outside as much, you know what I mean? It's getting dark earlier now that daylight savings over with. And so it's just a reason for people to get together twice in 2 months to, to be with one another, and gives us a reason to stick around each other a little bit longer than maybe we would if it was a conventional Sunday dinner.
Damn. Yeah. See, and it's so weird because Christmas time, it's hot here. Like, it's like, we're usually more times out of not, it's like a belter of a day, and we're like in the air conditioning, like, and we have to eat a huge meal, like a hot meal, because that's what Christmas is. But a lot of the time you have like barbecue lunches because it's so hot, so you just throw stuff on the barbecue. So, but like for a lot of people, when I say that to like people from that side of the world, they're like, but here it's like snowing. And it's freezing cold.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm from the Northeast too. So JPQ nailed it. Like, we do experience where we're from. We experience all 4 seasons. So
I experienced them all in a week.
Yeah,
it is
true.
It's 50 degrees today, and it's going to be 32 tomorrow.
Well, dude, it was like, I want to say last Thursday here, it was 70 degrees. And the next day it was literally in the 30s. And I was like, word.
Oh, you Americans with your Fahrenheit. What do you just like, you're the only country in the world that I swear uses Fahrenheit. Everyone else uses Celsius.
We're America and we have to be better and different than everyone, Josh.
See, most Americans are like, system, we're all this, we've got this. And I'm like, you're the only country in the fucking world that does that. Get with the rest of it.
And if you asked a random and you said, hey, if you thought there could be only one country in the world that would do things their own way, what country would that be? And everyone would go, fucking Americans.
Touche, friend. Touche. Listen, I shit on America a lot. I do. America is a dream destination of where I'd like to go someday. I'd love to go to America. It scares me in a lot of ways, but it's thrilling. Like, I'm like, it's the entertainment capital of the world. Everything you see on television is America. Everything is America, America, America. There's nothing more than I'd love to go to America, but I'm going to shit on it because it has its flaws. But so does every country. This country has flaws too, guys. We literally get killed by every animal that fucking walks around the house. So it's, it is what it is. So, you should have seen this. I should have taken a photo of it. The size of the spider that was underneath my shampoo bottle last night was
glad you didn't.
monstrous. Like I took the shampoo bottle off to wash my hair. I was like, holy shit. And it was like huge. It was not a poisonous spider. He was nothing. He was just a little friendly humidity shower spider, but he was monstrous. He was a big boy and he ran. He was like, and I was like, because I'm naked. Obviously,
So
I'm in the shower.
You didn't catch him.
No. He ran off, and I was like, he's gone. He'll probably go up in the exhaust fan or something like that, and he'll live his life. I don't give a fuck.
See, not even in America, but
anywhere that's not here.
Like, burn the house down.
Burn the house.
We don't know where it is. Burn the house down. Burn it down.
Burn the house.
I know when that's if you guys are ever in this country, I could identify. I'm like, that one won't kill you. That one won't kill you. That one might kill you. You might want to get rid of that one. But like most spiders are just like whatever.
This is so casual.
It's just so normal. It's normal. It's what I've grown up with.
You know, it's what you grow up with. So like you're used to it. Yeah. But for something like if I came to visit and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a shower. And I don't care if it could kill me. I don't care if it would give me a kiss. If I saw a spider
of any size, probably
that was even not any size. I mean, I'm not like petrified of spiders, but if I saw a spider that like was sizable, was like, oh man, that's a big spider, I would be like, not taking a shower. So
JPJ would be in the shower. Josh, help!
Yeah, bring a book, smash this thing.
I just catch it. A lot of them will just crawl into your hand and you just put them outside.
You know?
This is what it
Spider's
is.
eyeball in the shower, it's fine. Let's go.
See, I'm not scared of stuff like that, but I'm scared of birds. I'm petrified of any bird.
Well,
don't get a bird near me.
Birds are dinosaurs. Birds are dinosaurs. So they are.
Birds are scary. And JPQ will love this because he loves to talk about magpies.
Magpie, baby.
Oh my God. Okay, so do you guys know, JPQ does, but do you guys know what a magpie is?
I have heard of it. I'm not 100% sure I know exactly.
These are these little black and white birds, right? And for about a month out of the year, it's like mating season, and they nest, and they don't like you coming near their trees where they've got their babies because they're protecting their babies.
Of course, protecting. Yeah.
So in the springtime, usually around September-ish, you shouldn't really walk. There's certain areas of a town that you go, okay, there's magpies there. I'm not going to walk there because I'll get a thing called swooped. And now it might just sound, they will come from their trees and they're like, ooh, a head. That could be a new nest for my babies. And they try to get in you. Like they get their claws and they will swoop to the point where you are just like, you've got to just get out of the area. And they...
How big is a magpie?
They're the size of a normal bird, so like the size of a pigeon. They can get a little bigger,
okay.
But like usually it's the mums. The mums will come in and swoop, but if the dads do, they will fucking end you. They have claws. They're huge and they will destroy you. But so basically, these magpies have what's the best? They can remember your face. So basically, if I'm walking through just the street and I get swooped and that magpie was to then move the next year to another spot, they're like, Josh, I remember you, buddy. I'm going to come and attack you. They will remember you. They will hunt you down and they hurt. I've been swooped by a magpie before. It's frightening. Like it's frightening. They scratch your head. They won't kill you, but they'll scratch your head. They'll claw at you. They'll peck at you because they're trying to protect their babies or trying to find a new nest. A lot of people wear ice cream containers on their head because like it'll if they can't get you. Hats won't do. If you're looking at them, or if some people I've seen wear glasses on the back of their head so it looks like they're looking at them. And yeah, it's all that kind of good stuff. So like magpies are pretty intense. They're probably the scariest bird that there is, but I mean, there's much scarier that can actually kill you, like an ostrich or an emu. But yeah, emus ran over this country a long time ago, and there was like the Great War between people and emus in this country. Not even actually joking. We got outnumbered.
Wild.
We got literally outnumbered.
We gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about this for a second.
I don't know the exact story. If you type in Google JPJ, because you're the smart boy, type in Google, like, the Great War between emus and Australia, and you can get kind of the better understanding of what actually it was. But it was a while ago, and emus tried to outrun this country. And we had to kill a lot of emus.
War.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Because there was too many.
1932.
I believe it was in Western Australia, from my understanding. It could have been.
It says the location was, Campion. I'm probably going to say this wrong. Campion District, Western Australia.
So basically, if anyone knows, has anyone heard of the city Perth?
Yes.
So that's that side. So that's the western side of Australia. It's a long way away. It's a giant state, like a huge state. It's like the whole left side of the country.
So this war apparently lasted from November 2nd to December 10th.
Leave it.
This war was over this war was over a month. November 2nd to December 10th, 1932. And it says the Emu War, also known as the Great Emu War, was a nuisance wildlife management military operation undertaken in Australia to address public concern over the number of emus said to be running amok in the Campion district of Western Australia. Took a month.
It was literally a whole month of the people.
Of just people killing emus.
They were literally killing them because they were outrunning the Western Australian population, and they were running through towns. They were running through everything, so they had to literally get rid of the emus in some of the parts of this country because there was too many. We literally warred against emus.
What's a more dangerous force, the emu population or the emo population?
Oh well, I contributed to that in my teenage years.
Emu, let me tell you, they can't outrun you. But an emu.
They will tear you up.
They jet, man. They jet. They'll mess you up.
An ostrich is more scary, to be completely fair. But
yeah, I've never seen an ostrich up close. That's probably something I wouldn't want to fuck with.
Yeah, they can run. They're like, I could be making this up, but some people say they're like faster than some big cats.
I've seen not commercials. I've seen like videos.
The commercial for the ostrich.
Yeah. No, yeah. I've seen like videos of like people on a safari or like people driving, and there's like an ostrich like literally just sprinting behind their car, like just running at them. Like,
so I want
to hurt you.
Okay, I have a weird feeling towards zoos. I feel a certain way, like I kind of want to let them all out, but they have zoos here. Like they probably have the same in the States. I would nearly guarantee. You know, the zoos where you go in those little like cars and they're like everywhere, and like you can kind of like in like a bus, and like they're like open fields. You know what I mean? Like they're in captivity, but they're. You know what I mean? Like
they're let like open.
It's like free range,
open world.
Yeah,
free range.
So like they can like climb on the thing, and like you can kind of like see them. There's one in Adelaide, outside of Adelaide, called Monado Zoo, and it's like massive. It's like you can go and do all that kind of stuff. I've personally never been there, but I feel better about those kind of zoos than say like a zoo in a city. I don't know. How do you guys? Let's talk about zoos because I love animals. And I don't know. Pluggo, zoos. Are you against zoos? Are you for zoos?
I'm indifferent. I've been to zoos. I like.
Yeah, me too.
Like
that's how I feel.
Take to the zoos. It's weird, right? Like you go to these zoos and these animals, like they're not having a good time.
But I don't know if they. But are they having a good time? Like
they're all taken care of. The zoos around me. Like I'm not saying they're not taken care of, but like. That alligator at the zoo is like, I wish a motherfucker would jump over the barricade, right? Like, my natural instincts want to take over, but I'm just going to chill and let this kid just obnoxiously tap on my glass.
See, that would piss me off. I'd be like, bitch.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're cool. The lion's like, all right, but he's pacing back and forth. Like,
that lion is sitting there going, one of you fuck up.
You know what? Here's a better question. When you see those people, right? And I'm not saying I'm condoning any of this, but those people that jump in, those weird people that will jump into the enclosures and then they get killed and then they put down that animal. Bitch, you deserved it. If you jumped in there, you deserve to die.
Put down the animal.
They
shouldn't have died.
No,
you fucked up getting in that. You fucked up getting in that pit.
It's 100% the person's fault. You do not go into that enclosure. That is an animal's space. That's their territory. Correct. Regardless of what we think about them being held in captivity or not, that's that animal's home. And if you walk in there, that animal you deserve to be killed by that animal.
It's the same thing. Like we all have an apartment or a house or whatever, right? Like I'm not a violent person. I don't own a gun. However, If somebody random walked, I was like, I got 2 guns, right? If somebody random walked into my apartment, I'm gonna do what I have to do to defend myself
100%.
and B the apartment.
100%.
Like, what are you doing? You're just in my house. You're in my. This is where I live.
100%.
That lion's like, bro, I just got new grass. You're picking it up with your feet. Get off my stuff.
Who are you? Who are you? You know. I don't like how they put the animal down. I do not. I don't agree with that.
No, me.
I don't agree with that.
Me either.
You want to put them in timeout? Put them in timeout. But you don't have to. You don't have to.
Put a lion in timeout, JPJ. Like,
don't feed him for a couple days.
Go sit over there.
Listen, you.
Hey, you can't do that. Next time, don't be killing people. Don't be killing people. It's bad for press. Bad for press, man. Here's my thing, and I think you could feel the same way about it. But I prefer and I'm like Pluggo. I do like the zoo. There are zoos around me, not a ton, but they're the ones that are around me are kind of like in cities, which I prefer more of a, I would like them to be in the wild somewhat, whether it's regulated or not. I would prefer that they weren't like, I shouldn't be walking past buildings, apartment buildings,
and then be like, oh, there's a zoo.
And they'll be like, oh, shit, there's a zoo around the corner. Let's go check that out. What? No, that doesn't seem right to me. But at the same time, I love aquariums.
Aquariums are dope.
Big fan of, yes. Huge fan of aquariums.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same shit. All those fish don't want to be there. They want to be in the goddamn ocean. I don't know if they know any different.
Man, fish. I tried to own fish, guys. Fish are so hard to own. I didn't mean to kill them when I did, but I killed fish, and I didn't mean to. Like, you like have them, and then you have them for a couple of days. Not huge, but just like like gold.
Like the normal.
Yeah, like a normal. Yeah. But like when you change their water, and then like they don't really like. You got to put some of the old water in the new. Like, I don't know what I got mixed up, but every time I do that, they'll just die, and I don't mean to, and they're just not the. I guess they're just not the pet for me. I guess I've owned turtles, I've owned goats, I've owned
turtles. Wait,
goats?
Yeah, I had goats growing up. Bitch, I had goats growing up, and they were fat. Nice. Like they were fat goats. Like they were cool though, and you would like run with them, and they'd like jump in the air. They were cool though. They would come up and like be like, "Hey, what's up?" They weren't like nasty or anything. Like we had 2 goats growing up. Then I had obviously dogs. I had cats. I had turtles, fish. My cousin had a snake.
Turtles are pretty cool, man.
Turtles are cool. Turtles are
They'll
cool
last forever.
But this one was kind of nasty. He would bite you if you went in. He was like, he wasn't a very nice turtle. My cousin had a snake, and I lived with her for a little while. That was frightening. I didn't like being in the room, being like, that thing could get out and just end me. It could end me if it wanted to.
Not for me, Doug. That one's not for me. That snakes, no. Snakes are no. They are on the top of my list of
you wouldn't like it, yeah.
Don't need to be near any of them ever. So
snakes just it's this time of year. I'm like, I go outside today and there's probably just a snake in my backyard. The second most venomous snake in the world, by the way. Just backyard snake here. No big deal.
You know what I'm saying? That is life. What?
What they usually.
I feel like people in Australia live in a life and death battle every day.
It's not
they
like
just
that.
Walk outside and just a random.
Bro, more people.
The ankle by the snake.
More people on a daily basis die from gun attacks in that country than we die from brown snakes. I can tell you that.
Oh well, no shit.
So if there's life and death battle here, you know what? Since I love having Americans here. I'm gonna quiz you on some Australian things. Let's see how much you know about Australia. Let's see. I'll go round robin. No googling it because I'll know and I'll smack you around. Pluggo, you can go first. Do you know what the capital city of Australia is?
Sydney.
JPJ, what's your answer?
I want to say he's right with Sydney, but it could be Melbourne. But I'm going Sydney.
It's Canberra.
Perth.
Canberra.
See, I never heard of that.
Canberra.
That's of the whole.
Australia's capital city is Canberra. It's where the government house is. It's in its own territory, the ACT. It's closer to Sydney than anything. It's a state within a state. We have New South Wales, and then in the middle of New South Wales is the ACT, which has one town in it, and it's Canberra. And that is where government house is, where the Prime Minister is. You usually go there on like a school trip in like high school. You go, it's a fair way from Adelaide. But you go on a school trip and you go to Government House and you learn all about the United States. The capital of the United States is Washington, D.C.
Okay. Oh, wow. See, he's going to know way more about America.
Because of wrestling. Wrestling has taught me this stuff. Wouldn't know if it wasn't.
Yeah. That's fair.
Washington, because they always capital punishment was there. I thought we were going
to stump him on question 1. I should have known that.
What else do I know? I don't really know that much about this country in question form, to be completely honest. Who do you let's see. Can you name 3 singers, artists, or something like that from Australia that are native to this country? 3. I like how you're like, fuck. I can probably name 1. Can you even name?
I think I can name one.
Can you not name a singer?
Kylie Minogue.
You got 1. Kylie's easy.
Is that easy? That was a struggle for me.
Isn't Kylie Minogue like is she like?
She had one song a while ago.
Oh man, she had more than one song in this country. I can tell you that. That woman's had about 10 albums.
Like, no, I'm gonna be thinking about what that friggin' song
all
was.
The time, America though, we get like a foreign singer that's like a smash hit. We're like that one song, and then everybody's like, yeah, they got 50. That happens constantly.
I could name so
like
many.
Oh
man,
the Rickroll dude. That's the only song we know, but everybody's like, he's got like the greatest hits.
Yeah. I have seen bands, not necessarily from Australia, but I've seen bands that are based out of Europe that literally sell out football stadiums in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen them perform in like Boston for like 40 people because nobody knows who the fuck they are.
UK, Europe, we have a lot of the same, like a lot of stuff that's big here is big over there and vice versa. But it's not necessary. It doesn't translate always to America. I don't honestly know why, because I talk to a lot of people from the UK and they're like, oh, I know who that is. And I'm like, oh. And then I know a lot of their stuff. I don't know if it's like a cultural thing. I don't know what it is about England and here that we just get a lot of the same kind of stuff. But a lot of people know a lot of Australians, and I know a lot of, Brits that that Americans are like, I have no idea who this is. So it is weird how culturally so different. Like, I didn't realize exactly how much of a difference there was between America and Australia until I started doing content, and I was like, oh wow, like we don't like have a lot of the same things. Like even food and stuff like that is so different, and it's weird.
I'm trying to think of 2 other artists.
He's still trying to think.
Australian.
You got Kylie.
Because I feel
I
like you're gonna name. I feel like you're gonna name at least 1 or 2 others, and I'm like, God damn it!
AC/DC, they're Australian.
Oh, AC/DC. Oh yeah, duh. I should have known. I'm a fan of AC/DC for crying out loud. Or I was when I was younger, when I was in my classic
I can name
phase.
Any celebrity. Can you name any celebrities that are Australian?
Rhea Ripley.
I mean, is she a celebrity? Would you call a wrestler a celebrity? Nicole Kidman.
Well, Hemsworth.
Chris
Hemsworth.
Yeah,
brothers,
Liam
right?
and Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, very good looking man.
My cat's coming in here. I think
Luke
Lou might make an appearance.
I don't know where Giddy is. Oh hell yeah! Hell yeah! I love Lou. Look how big he is. He's so cool.
Oh yeah.
Lou's the best. Does Lou ever get in on Between Two Beards?
No, I don't think he's made an appearance yet. But he wants some petties now, so that's why he's not trying
he's
to
looking. He knows the camera. He's looking right at that camera. He's like, "What's up?"
Is he looking
bitch?
at the camera?
He was.
What are you doing?
Now he's just. He's a little entertainer. Look at him go.
I need to go get my cats.
He's a handsome bastard.
Yeah, go get some cats. I don't know where Giddy is. Hey, Giddy, come out here.
I can get the. Oh, there's one.
All right, so.
Harry,
you try and
the Hemsworth brothers. Particularly, I feel like Chris is like a next level.
Yeah, Liam was known for being with Miley Cyrus, I think.
Miley Cyrus, yeah. Chris Hemsworth. Oh, how do you feel about one of your own Australian doing a Hulk Hogan biopic? Because he's playing Hulk Hogan in the story of Hulk Hogan.
How do you think I feel about Hulk Hogan?
I feel like you don't like him.
Yeah, well, I don't usually swing towards racist. That's for sure. So I'll just leave.
Are you going to see the movie though?
Probably. I mean, it's wrestling related.
Yeah.
It's like that Vince McMahon thing that's coming out. Isn't there going to be a Vince McMahon biopic or something?
Heath Ledger was one of yours.
Heath Ledger, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger as the Joker was fantastic, by the way.
Incredible.
Like
posthumously won the Academy Award.
Just wonderful.
He's
That's like the superhero movie I can confidently say that I've seen like 10 times.
I've seen it once.
Dark Knight?
Yeah, Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, incredible. It's so good. That whole Christopher Nolan, Batman, those 3 movies. Because if you were to go back and watch all 3 in a row, like Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, those are all really, really good. I know a lot of people shit on Dark Knight Rises.
I haven't seen
a lot. I liked it a lot. I thought it was.
I don't know. I don't have superhero movies are not my genre.
Not my neither. Tom Hardy. He's English, right? He's not.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's Australian. Some people I get confused with, but there is a lot more than you would even realize. What about has anyone? Well, Iggy Azalea.
Oh yeah. I did not know she was.
She's from Australia.
See, this is where I'm going to sound American. I didn't know she wasn't American, so I never heard her speak. I've only heard her music, and I can't tell the accent from the music. So,
well, yeah, if you hear her speak, she's Australian. Like she's very Australian. She's what we call a bogan.
A bogan.
A bogan.
I've never.
A bogan. It's hard to explain because it's hard to like put it into like an American. Like this is what it would be like, but basically it's like a little rougher. They're a little rough around the edges. Usually don't have the most expensive things. They usually are like they talk very Australian, mate. Like very Australian. Like they like way more of an accent than I would have. Jessie McKay kind of speaks a little bit like a bogan. She isn't a bogan, but she has that. She's got that very thick like Australian accent. Like you can tell she's from Australia. There's 2 more Australians, by the way, Cassie and Jessie.
I stayed away from the wrestling because I said Rhea Ripley and I got judged. So I
stayed away from according to their promos and impacts, they're Australian legends. So, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Are they huge over in Australia? Because
wrestling isn't huge in Australia.
Okay, so I would say if I were to ask you, from an entertainment perspective, who is like
this is our person?
I don't know if you want to do Mount Rushmore or if you just want to pick one or two.
I feel like
who are the people that are like, they're
Australian people. I feel like Kylie Minogue would be in that. We would always say Kylie Minogue because I feel like as an Australian, you'd probably get shot if you didn't say Kylie Minogue. So I'll put that in there. Nicole Kidman. I feel like everyone knows Nicole Kidman.
A big one. Yeah,
like Nicole Kidman is probably one of the bigger ones that we would say like, hey, she's one of us. AC/DC as just a band because people are like, okay, yeah, all right, we know AC/DC. I mean, Australians listening to this will be like, Josh, say this person. Josh, say this person. I guess Heath Ledger would probably be looked at as someone that is probably in that conversation just for the stature of his movies and stuff like that.
What a legend that guy was. That guy was dominant for.
Yeah, it was very sad when I remember when he passed away. It was very sad. And the other one would be Steve Irwin.
Oh, legend.
And when the
whole Irwin family now, the whole family.
When he passed away, it was legitimately one of the saddest days I can remember. We ended school early that day. I remember being at school and they sent us home.
I feel like Steve Irwin.
It was sad.
I feel like Steve Irwin might be the answer.
Honestly, might be.
I have never met somebody. No matter, obviously, I live in America, so I really just talk to Americans most of the time. I've never met a soul that has said anything bad about him.
He is an Australian. Like he's he just sounds like that is just like the stereotypical. Was he on like he had TV shows and stuff over here and he was movies. Was that a thing in the States? Like was he on TV and was he on? He was a big deal.
He was huge. He was a huge deal over here.
So in Australia, in near like about an hour away from Brisbane, probably a little longer. But like over in Brisbane, up the top of Australia, in the state of Queensland, Australia Zoo is the Irwin Zoo. Like Terry's up there, Bindi. Why am I blanking on the little guy's name? The younger one, the son.
Oh,
fuck. Yeah. He looks exactly like his dad.
Bindi just got married, I saw.
Yeah, Bindi got married. She just had a baby.
That's right.
She's married to an American. She's and obviously Terry's American. So they have the Australia Zoo that's the biggest zoo in this country, and it's like you have to make a booking to go to that zoo. It's just every day. And like, that's the Irwin Zoo. But yeah, the way that he died and everything like that, like the stingray attack and everything is very like a Steve Irwin way of like, you know what I mean? Going out. Like if you're going to go out as Steve Irwin, he's doing what he loved, I guess, was animals. He loved animals. Some of that stuff that man used to do. I remember being a kid watching him being like, what the hell is going on here? Like jumping on top of crocs.
No, that guy was an icon over here too. Like there's like sport, like, so the main sports channel in America's, well, not the main because it kind of sucks now, but like I feel like everyone thinks like ESPN is like the main sports channel.
It is the main sports channel.
Yes.
Why do you say ESPN sucks? What's the go there?
They're over the top. They hate Boston. You know, they
gave Tom Brady his own like saga series on the
Plus, yeah, he's the greatest athlete to ever live, Pluggo. He's the greatest American to ever live.
He sneezes and it's all over ESPN, dude. Come on.
Oh yeah, no, because it wasn't ESPN that said lies about footballs and all these things like that and Spygate and all this stuff. Don't get me started. We're on Josh's channel, all right? Don't get me started about.
No, it's fine. This is what this episode. In a minute, after we talk about this, why I have you two here? I promise you something. I'm going to cheat you about Australian rules football in a minute. So we're going to talk sport, which is something. Look at me, I'm a straight guy. Let's talk about sport.
Yeah, I mean ESPN it's just, I don't know. It's gotten a lot watered down to me. Damn. It's all like fluff. Think about how we feel about WWE right now. ESPN's the same.
No, ESPN did that. So ESPN did the WWE budget cut thing, and they took all the best personalities they had that were making a shit ton of money and pretty much canned them to bring in cheaper talent because they're thinking their thought is, well, they're just talking sports. Anybody could do that. So that's
and
fair.
They have a complete bias against Boston. So, but you know,
But Steve Irwin, what were you gonna say?
He had the main show. That was like, you know, it's an iconic show. It's called SportsCenter. And they have commercials, like humorous commercials with stars called This Is SportsCenter, and they do commercials. And Steve Irwin had his own This Is SportsCenter commercial. It's hilarious. Where he's waiting. He's in his full
get up, like full
uniform that he used to wear. And he's waiting with at the time, one of the main anchors, and they're waiting for the elevator. And the elevator opens up. And there's a college in Florida, the University of Florida, their nickname are the Gators. And their mascot is literally this giant alligator. And so the elevator opens up and you don't see the alligator, you just see Steve Irwin go, oh, and he like holds the guy back. And the Florida Gator comes out of the elevator and Steve Irwin does this thing, oh, crikey, this is a big one here. And he's like doing his thing, you know? Sorry, probably a terrible accent. But he's going, crikey, it's a big one here. And he's like, stand back. And he just fucking tackles the alligator.
As he does.
And then the anchor is like looking down like, oh, like what the hell? You know, and then the anchor just gets on the elevator as Steve Irwin. You don't see him in frame anymore, but Steve Irwin is literally, you just hear him fighting the oh, I got him. Like you hear him like doing his thing. Hilarious.
Steve Irwin was the man.
It's one of the all-time This Is SportsCenter commercials. They still show it from time to time now.
Yeah, and they don't.
He's been gone for a long time. Yeah,
that's for sure. So
Steve Irwin was the only way for anyone that doesn't understand the magnitude of when Steve Irwin passed away. It's basically, you're all wrestling fans that are probably listening to this and watching this. It's the equivalent of how we feel about Eddie Guerrero dying. That's how this country feels about Steve Irwin, just magnified probably because it's the whole country. But that's how they're the only two. They're probably the first two deaths I ever processed in my life, was Steve Irwin and Eddie Guerrero, which is really, really bizarre to say. Because I've been pretty, like, knock on wood, I've been pretty lucky in my life that most of my immediate family is still alive. So I've never known what it's like to process death. Those were the two that I've processed as a kid, which is really bizarre to think about when you think about that. But like those celebrities that pass away and you kind of feel like an attack, even though we don't know we never had met these people, but like you just feel that attachment to. Eddie and Steve Irwin are always the two that I go to of like, oh man, I feel this death, but not to get too dark. I told you guys on Between Two Beards weeks and weeks ago that I said one day I would teach you about Australian rules football because you are both sports guys. You both love sports. So I'm going to do my best little introduction to Aussie rules footy.
The way, the Bears are killing it right now.
Are they really?
Yeah, are they?
He picked the Bears to win the Super Bowl, and they're like 3-8.
Fuck yeah.
So no.
Yeah, they're not good. You know who is killing it though? The New England Patriots. Anyway, no, it's okay. I'm not gonna
Josh, this is your time. So go.
We're gonna be the number 1 seed in the AFC. Oh my god. Anyway, Josh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so AFL is our, well, a lot from people this side of the country. I'm sorry, people up higher in Australia that think NRL is the football, but that is not. That is rugby. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Anyway, AFL. So Aussie rules footy. Your American football is not the same. I guess it has similar traits as Aussie rules footy, but any time in your life, have you ever seen anything about AFL? Do you know anything about it?
I believe I have watched an occasional game.
And you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Like occasionally, like I think they'll show them on some random, third-party sports channel or something like that. So I've seen, but I couldn't tell you the rules. I couldn't tell you how to play it.
And I find it fascinating to watch. But yeah, I couldn't tell you, like, I don't understand, like, the kicks, the scrums, they're not tackling the guy. Like, they are tackling the guy. It's something. It's something to see.
So basically, like any kind of football game, there's obviously 2 goals, one at either end. And basically your idea is you have 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stumps. So there's 2 sides, there's like a middle goal and there's 2 on the outer side. They will get you points. The middle gets you a goal. So you get 6 points on your score if you get it through the middle, and you get 1 point if you get it through the to the either side of it. So basically your idea is you have 4 quarters, and so you have 4 quarters in one game, and obviously the highest score wins. You get as many goals as possible, so you got to get it to your end. You start off with a bounce, which is called a ruck. You have ruckmen come in and they hit the ball, and you got to bounce as you run the ball, so you've got to kind of bounce your football, and you can handball it to your teammates or you can kick it to your teammates. Marks will stop the game, so you can go for a kick, all that kind of stuff. So if you mark it in the air, you jump up, grab it, no one can touch you. You can get people and kind of tackle them, and then the umpires. It's very obviously it's very hard to explain in that kind of sense. This doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but I guess the way that I can describe it, that would be, because I don't really know that much about American football other than you've got to get goals, right? You got to get it, or you got to get a touchdown, right? Is that how it works? You got to get it into your zone, touchdown. Like an end zone or something.
You got to get in the end zone.
Yeah. So
basically the same setup. That there's an end. You can kick it though, right? Can you kick a ball in?
You can kick a so all right. So you get all right. So it's hard. You get the ball and you have to get 10. So you have to get 10 yards to get what they call a first down, and you have 4 downs to get the 10 yards. So you can go, first and 10, and then it could be second and whatever, third and whatever. Mm-hmm. If you get the first down, the downs reset and you get a new first down, and you kind of just go down the field that way, right? When you get a certain way into your opponent's territory, if you get to a 4th down, if you don't want to go for the first down and the 4th down, you can kick a field goal, which is getting it through the uprights. That's worth 3 points.
Right.
Scoring a touchdown though is worth 6, so it's worth double.
And then there's an extra point.
And then after you score a touchdown, you kick a field goal that's called an extra point, and that just makes it 7.
Or you can go for 2, or you can get a safety. Explaining American football to somebody that doesn't know American football is one of the hardest things to do, in my opinion, if you don't know the sport.
It's interesting here for everyone that's on the screen right now. This is what I'm going to show you guys is that so let me see. Wait, hold up. Let me get out of this for 1 second. How do I get out of screen share? Fuck. How do I do that? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get out of screen share and I don't know how. How the fuck do I get out of it?
Hey, look, I'm on screen. Hi.
I'm trying to figure out how to get return to meeting. Get out of that. Stop screen sharing for a minute.
Name something.
Sorry, guys.
To football to a non-football fan. It's like what you're saying to me is like physics.
So one thing that I would ask you, Josh, is is there a set amount of time when they have the ball?
No, you don't.
The Rock. They call it the Rock.
Ruck. So a ruck is the start. Like so basically there'll be an umpire or a referee that will be in the center of the field, and he'll bounce the ball on the ground, like he'll boom, and it will go up in the air. And the guys in the ruck will have to try and tap it to their teammates. So they're called ruckmen. They're usually the tallest dudes in the team with the longest reach, because the taller you are, the more chance you have of getting the ball over. There's two ruckmen on either side of one another, so one for one team, one for the other. I'm really bad at explaining kind of rules, but what we'll do is we'll do like a part 2 one day, right? Where you guys are going to come on my Twitch stream. You're going to sit there and you're going to watch me play an AFL video game. And I can explain to you and show you in a video game sense of like, this is what I'll be the Adelaide Crows. They're fucking dog shit, but I'll be the Adelaide Crows and I'll explain to you and show you one day in the AFL game. So we'll organize a time where you can come and watch me play on my Twitch stream an AFL game. Oh my god, we have a person here. One of my favorite people in the world is dropping in to say hello. She won't be on. She might pop in on camera and say hello. Oh my god, if we're getting Queen on camera, that's like a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Happy birthday, Beach.
Thank you, Beach. Queen. Okay, Queen, you don't probably know JPJ and Pluggo. They love wrestling people, but this is of course Queen. One of my favorite human beings on planet Earth is Miss Queen of NE. The shit we talk in DMs is for nobody's eyes but ours. It's iconic. We will truly never share what we say in DMs because they're tea, but they're also usually they're just us screaming at each other like in all caps. To be completely fair,
write a book. The DMs
one day. Oh. We'll make some dollary dues on that one, eh? We're talking about this has just been a shit show, Queen. We've had people popping in. We had JPQ here earlier, who I know you love, your bestie. He was in the car riding home, but he had to dip because he had to do some stuff. But now we got Queen here. So JPJ, Pluggo, basically every time me and Queen get into a Zoom call, it's usually just nonsense. And the amount of times we just don't talk about wrestling is hilarious. Who wants to talk about wrestling?
I mean, we barely talked about
we haven't talked about wrestling at all.
A couple references here or there, but not at all.
Queen,
not at all.
We have to ask you, who stole the egg? Who stole Vince McMahon's egg?
What are we in fucking Harry Potter? What's happening?
Bitch, I don't
It's Cleopatra's. It's from Red.
You didn't watch that
from
fucking
Red
car
Notice.
crash of a pay-per-view last night?
Wasn't it bad?
I mean, I watched parts of the car crash for pay-per-view.
It was not good. Did you watch that Women's Survivor Series match? Because it was really bad, Queen, and that's coming from me, who loved.
No, I went to bed.
Good. Honestly,
I was smarter
good girl.
You.
Charlotte and Becky ruled. Really?
Oh yeah, that was the best part of the whole night. Everything else.
Before we go on, Queen, how'd you feel about Becky's "Oops, I Did It Again" moment?
It gave me Brittany, "Oops, I Did It Again."
I didn't like the boots. Didn't like the boots.
No, see, I love the boots.
Oh, we're gonna argue about it.
Made it more interesting.
I thought she was gonna stab somebody with them boots.
She should have stabbed Charlotte with them.
She should have, because that was like full on like WandaVision slight nod. But then she was wearing Effie's jacket, and like I'm not okay with that. Yeah,
Matt Cardona needs to piss off with that too.
Well, I saw that. Yeah, well, that was the thing. I saw Becky's jacket, and I was like, "What is everyone just copying?" Because I mean, Matt Cardona is obviously feuding with Effie, so it
obviously
somewhat makes sense.
But why was Chelsea Green all up in Queen's replies?
Excuse me.
I didn't. I don't remember. Listen. I don't remember tagging. I don't think you tagged Chelsea Green in that post.
Sure did not.
Are we gonna get Queen versus Chelsea Green? Hard to kill. You going in that Ultimate X match?
If she survives Allie Catch. She survives Allie Catch, maybe, but I think Allie's got
Chelsea girl.
Our girl's got it on lockdown.
Yeah.
But yes, Becky and Charlotte go on JPJ. That was a good match. I did enjoy that match.
It was. And up until the bullshit finish, in the fact that it was on the pre-show, Priest and Nakamura was pretty damn good.
Very good.
Yeah, Priest and Nakamura was pretty damn good.
And the men's Survivor Series match, I liked. Jeff Hardy, our boy Jeff Hardy, getting in some reps. Good for him. Good for him.
It was over.
I would like to see Jeff Hardy in one more massive little spot before he's, gonna you know, I don't think we're going to get Jeff Hardy wrestling for 10 more years. Like, it's not a, come on, but like, you know.
He's done his, he's good.
But look, it's good to see him still getting some love.
I think Jeff Hardy against Roman for the title at Royal Rumble would be just about right. I just think that would be a good. Sure. They're going to do Woods at day one probably, and he deserves that. And then you go to Jeff Hardy, and then Brock wins the Rumble, and we get Brock and Roman at WrestleMania. That's what I think's going to happen.
So I don't want to
Rock.
But is it Rock? No.
I don't think we're getting Rock this year. Otherwise, I think if we were getting Rock this year, he would have been last. He would have been
little one. Hi, little buddy.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
Hey, I love you, Josh. I didn't want to miss this. He's getting stir crazy.
That's okay. It's all good.
Please.
We'll wrap things up in like 15 minutes or so anyway, so that is completely fine. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it.
Hey, for Josh.
I'll see you tonight on Beards, brother.
Love you. We'll see you soon. Queen of Any, it was awesome.
Peace. It was awesome.
Bye. All right, now that Pluggo's gone, let's talk some shit. No,
dead weight out of here.
So we'll go for another 15 minutes or so. If you can hang out for 15 minutes or so, Queen.
I only have about 10 because I have
fine.
to do a recording at 7:30 live, so I have to be.
That's fine. 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes. Let's get in everything we can. So all right. So okay. Becky, get out of here with the jacket, but you like the look.
I did. It worked for her. I felt like, it's hard. With her hair color and stuff, the right red, it has to be the right outfit.
My sister did not like it. My sister did not. She was sitting there and she was like, red is not her color. She was not for it.
I thought it looked cool. I thought it looked pretty bad.
I thought it did too.
I didn't love it either. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, I mean, it's okay to be wrong, but you're not wrong on your birthday, so that's all right. Not wrong on the birthday.
Okay, so me and Queen talk a lot about outfits of wrestling and stuff like that. Let's talk about me because it's my birthday. How hot did I look at that wedding? Holy shit. Did I look good or did I look good? I look good. I knew it. I was feeling myself too. I was walking in. I was like, bitch, I look good today. You know when you just feel yourself, you have that confidence and you're like, yeah. And people that tell me I look good and I'm like, I know. Like,
yes, honey.
I know. I put up all the photos and that. I had a damn good time at that wedding. I'm still feeling it a little bit today, like a few days out, and I'm still like, oh man. You know those hangovers that they creep with you for a few days? You're like, oh, I could do another day in bed and I'd be fine. But my sister looked beautiful. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. Yeah, me and Queen were in DMs and I was like, look at my sister's dress. She was like, yeah, she looks good. My sister, beautiful. I didn't cry in the ceremony, but my mum's speech made me cry. I was the one like, my mum just started crying and I was like, oh, bitch, stop making me cry. And then I just shoved my face.
Crying, Mom, you make me cry.
And I had a few drinks at that time. So, the emotions were running wild.
You got the emotions are running, yeah.
And then I just tore it up on the dance floor with my little 12-year-old brother who was on the dance floor at like 8:30 at night and did not come off the entire time. I'm like, to have that energy, I needed breaks in between. I was like, I need some water. I need something. Like, I can't do this. My little brother's like, oh, my fucking ham. I'm like, oh, you're a lot like me. You love attention. It's great. But yeah, we talk a lot of wrestling fashion, JPJ. That's what we do a lot. We're always like, does this one Miss Sasha Banks is one we always tend to agree on, and she always serves looks. Lately, she's been a little off.
Something's going on over there in like a lot of different ways, I feel like, because Charlotte served a look last night. But it's been a while since she served a look.
Because you hated that Corella. Was it Corella DeVille?
Hated it.
Like, Queen, like, passionately, like, was like, I'm ready to slap a bitch. Like, she was not happy.
Yep. Fair. It was way more Dalmatian than it was Corella. And, like, yes,
do you remember that look,
Dalmatian
JPJ?
Coat,
oh, I do. I do, yeah. I remember.
I didn't hate it as much as Queen did, but Queen had.
Oh, I really hated it.
But Sasha's usually one that, like, she owns a lot of great looks. But lately, it's been like, she's trying other stuff, and I'm like,
I mean, it's cool to be experimental. We love new things, like, right? Give it a shot. Mm-hmm. But some things are a little too, I don't know.
JPG, how do you feel about, like, is gear important to you? It's very important to me. It can add a lot to a wrestler. Like, add a lot.
Well, I agree there. So I remember being vividly, so at one point, I think it was only for one match, and he probably got some feedback for it, so he didn't. I feel like Hangman came out one time with like legitimately at like assless chaps, like legitimately. assless chaps.
How are we feeling about chaps? I don't know how I feel about chaps. Not a thing?
Yeah,
don't like it?
Not
your thing?
And it was it was to the point where I was watching it with my then significant other, and she not a wrestling fan, but she was watching the show, and she even made a comment like, he looks like a damn fool on those things. And then that was the only time he ever wore. So like gear to me, like it doesn't make or break anything, but like it I agree with you when you say it adds to a character. Like if someone has badass gear, that's cool. Like I remember when Rollins came out and he was the White Walker from Game of Thrones at WrestleMania. I was like, oh my God, he had the eye. I was
how are we feeling about Mr. Rollins? He does a lot of extravagant things, but I think it works for him. He does make it work.
Yes, it does.
How did you feel
100%.
about his gear at Survivor Series? Because I like that like distressed red silver thing that he's got going on, the big coats. I like it. Queen's got her stank face on. She does not like it. She does not appreciate Seth Rollins' looks right now. No, not a thing.
You know, even like suits? You're not a fan of the suits?
His suits are a lot sometimes.
I mean, some of them are great.
They are very bold.
And some of them should never see the light of day.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's a fair assessment.
I get it.
And like, I get the character, right? It makes sense. But then I feel like when Becky turned heel / face / heel / whatever she is right now,
big time.
She was also doing weird coats, and I was like, "Are we doing a couples thing?" And to me, it's just like knockoff Ty Valkyrie and knockoff Johnny Morrison. Sorry.
Damn.
They did it first, and they did do it a lot better with that whole fur thing. It's not. That's not the vibe.
Throwing out
I think that's a good call out.
She's got Chelsea Green coming after. She's gonna have big time Bex coming after. Seth Rollins.
I mean, listen, we can bond over having daughters, but like it's. I don't think it's. I don't know.
Okay,
it doesn't make a smart choice.
Bex is do it. Listen, she's kicking ass, being a mum, being the top of her industry. Good for her. But yeah, some of her looks are a bit like. And especially a lot of her looks are like not as good as Seth's, and it comes across that way sometimes. Yikes.
They try to match a lot, and it doesn't.
Just be separate. We know you're together, and that's fine. But just be separate. But even sometimes, like me and Queen, what I love about Queen's wrestling fashion takes is sometimes it doesn't have to be like aesthetically pretty. It just has to suit the character, and it suits, and that can make to me. I think Queen's the same. Maybe not to you, JPJ, but it can literally make or break a character for me. I'm like, no, you need your gear game like you.
It needs to work.
You hated Bailey's like Capri. You hated it.
I hated it.
But I loved it. I thought it worked
so
for her
much.
so well.
I was more on Josh's side there. I thought it
Queen, like, she's like, I like the top, everything going about, like the top half of her body right now. Lovely. But you were like, I hate
those capris ruined it for me. I was like, are we going clam digging? Why do you have capris? I don't get it. Sorry, I really can't. I'm really sassy.
Okay, how we feel about the inspirations gear? That Brittany
Nod was wonderful.
I did not like their gear at Bound for Glory. Their comeback
like
gear.
that either.
I was like, girls, what are you doing?
That was a little lackluster.
They usually have very big gear too. Like they're very good with their gear. Bright colors.
Their Mania gear when they won the belts. Stop.
Fantastic.
It was
fantastic.
Iconic. It was fantastic. It just hit on all levels.
Especially Cassie's.
I was like
the tights.
Oh. So good.
They're usually good with their gear.
Something else, but
it was like that nude color, and I was like, whatever. I was just excited.
And it's not the right nude color either.
It didn't work for them. It didn't work for them.
No.
Because remember when Sasha had that like brown attire?
And what did I tell you?
Yeah.
Not the right color.
It's some people.
There are shades of brown and shades of nude that work, but you have to find it. Because if your undertones are yellow and not pink, you're gonna have a problem.
See, JPJ, we could literally have
like a
2-hour
conversation.
I'm learning right now. I'm learning right now.
JPQ and I are the ones that are really like, did you see the inseam? Did you see the inside lining? Like, we get nuts.
Like, I feel like if you weren't a wrestling fan, you could be a wrestling fan just for the gear.
Oh, easily. I would watch Mania just for the pageantry. That's one of the main reasons, other than the wrestling, I love New Japan. They get it. They understand the assignment.
So, okay. So before we have to run away with Queen and we wrap up things, give me best female, best male gear of 2021. If you can. Or usually someone who's just consistently great. Give me two, a man and a woman that's just consistently on point with their gear. Would it be Miss Banks?
It's Sasha and Kenny for me. Kenny's gear is always very, very good.
Yeah, Kenny.
He's got great themes, great colors. He understands what he's doing, and it shifts slightly when his character shifts slightly, and I appreciate that. It's not always like super elaborate, but he is one that it always fits with what he's doing, and I appreciate that a lot.
Okay.
Plus, I always love that he has some sort of nod to his finisher, and it just kind of flows together as a character.
No one
Sasha slays all day.
I mean, Sasha's great. She's probably my ladies one, but Johnny Gargano for me, he always hits it for me.
Yes,
Johnny's got great gear.
That's true.
Johnny's got great gear.
Superheroes,
like, and it's always colorful and like the shape of like he is a smaller guy. Like, and it just,
but he makes it work.
He makes it so, like his boots always, I just like, it's very aesthetically pleasing. I'm like, even if I don't necessarily understand the reference sometimes, because he does a lot of video games and a very like eclectic kind of things that you're like, whoa, what is this? But
comic booky.
He hits it and it's just like, it works. Big E also has great gear. I will say Big E.
Well, the New Day is a collective, right?
Yes.
New Day are great. Say
the New Day, especially like Woods and Kofi this year, they had like Mortal Kombat gear. They had some cool outfits that were like honoring
New Day would
video games, old. They did the NWO gear, like the Outsiders gear, which was cool.
Yes.
So they've always been that way a little bit, but I think this year, especially Woods and Kofi, when they've been branched off from E, have really stepped it up and like had some really cool gear this year.
Good shout.
Yeah. No, New Day. I mean, color wise, I mean, I love bright colors, and if you have bright colors, as long as it works, it can't be just a chaotic mess of just whatever. But bright colors usually pop, and like New Day are great. Queen, I know you have to run. I think Mags is going to pop in for the last like little bit of this show, so we're going to have Mags come in, and I'll probably yell at Mags for 15 minutes. You know how our relationship is.
I do. Tell him I said hi.
Oh, of course. You go have fun with your recording, and I'm sure we'll speak very soon, I'm sure. But it was great to introduce you two. This is the first time you've talked, right?
Officially, nice meeting you.
You too. Hi.
Yeah.
All right,
I think you're actually like from my neck of the woods too. Like you're from around where I'm around. I live in Massachusetts. So
we're neighbors. Yes, we are.
There we go. So, I knew that. And I was like, I think she's near me. But yeah.
Yes.
Northeast.
Yeah, cool.
That's fabulous.
Northeast, New England.
Northeast. New England, what up? Joshy, I love you. Happy birthday.
Love you too.
You're the best ever.
Thank you.
And I'll talk to you in the DMs. It was nice to see you as well. And I will catch you later.
Say bye, Queenie.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So Mags is gonna pop in a minute. So we'll spend the last 10 minutes or so with Mags when he pops in. He said he's gonna pop in a minute. So Mags and you've seen Mags and me before.
I think the first Love Wrestling thing I ever did after Spencer decided to bring me on was a Sunday brunch, and Mags was on there. So, but that was the only time I've ever chatted. Like, obviously on social media, we've,
interacted.
Here or there.
Yes.
Yeah. But that was the only time I've ever like done anything with him, like been in a discussion with him, so. But yeah, I've seen all your preview shows with him.
Oh, man.
I used to do them all the time and stuff like that.
Mags and me have a very interesting relationship. We usually just tease each other. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
But I love Queen popped in and stuff like that. That's how I thought this
that was really nice.
Chat was going to go.
I've been a follower of hers on the socials for a long time. She's
a good egg.
Good opinions, good shit, good person.
So, me and her, again, we were Brainbuster people back in however long ago that was. So, and Mags was as well. So I've known all these people for a few years now. And because me and Queen talk all the time, like we literally talk every single day at this point, but I don't get to talk to JPQ much, like Mags and I, it's hard with people from the UK. It's very hard sometimes to tackle in, for like, because of time zones and stuff like that. Usually when I wake up, they're going to bed, stuff like that. So it's difficult.
So what's the time difference between you and them?
So I believe, Raw starts for me at 11:30. For them, it's 1 a.m. So you've got to think like it's early in the morning. So by the time I'm up, I'm, ready to start streaming or recording. It's like midnight for them. Like it's late. But Mags is, I know for a fact, we'll ask him when he gets in here, but I know for a fact Mags is someone that he watches a lot of UFC, obviously watches a lot of wrestling, so his times are everywhere. Like he's up at like God hours of the morning watching sports. So that would suck, man. I would hate that. If I was living in the UK, I'd never watch anything live. I'd be like, I'm not watching this live.
Well, it's one of the things. So when I started watching the pay-per-view last night, I was watching the Wrestle Talk guys. They were doing a live watch along. So I was not for, I was watching them just to start. And when the finish for the Priest Nakamura match happened, they were not happy. But like one of the guys was like, it's 2 a.m. Like it's 2 a.m. This is the finish on the pre-show. Like what the hell are we going to see for the next, 3 hours? Like I don't want to be up till 5 a.m. watching nonsense. And I was like, well, that's what we're going to get. But it was, I don't think I could do it. I would just DVR it and I'd be watching it the next day.
Yeah,
that would be me.
I would wake up and watch it. That's what I would do. I'm very fortunate that I'm not in that spot. I know a lot of people like, you watch it at 9:30 in the morning. I'm like, I would rather watch it at 9:30 in the morning than at 1 a.m. Tell you that. I couldn't be in that part of the world.
If it was my job, I would watch it.
Yeah, it'd be different. But I'd just get in that zone of like, that would be
your
constant
style. You would be up till 4 or 5 in the morning
and then sleep during the day.
Noon.
Be like a baker or something.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, my dad, he's a baker. So he would be up all night, sleep all day. Like we used to have, obviously my parents used to sleep in the same room, but during the day, we would have a room that was right at the back of the house that was away from everything. And he would sleep in that room during the day. So we could all be up and, make noise and be kids, and he could still sleep because he'd have to sleep and go to work at 9 p.m. and be up all night. It was so bizarre. It was like the oddest thing in the world because you'd be like, where's dad? He's like, he's asleep. But like, that was just normal.
Crazy.
It was just normal for him to be asleep because he was up all night. I don't know if I could do.
He's up all night
I
doing
guess.
his thing.
I guess you would just get used to it though, wouldn't it? It'd be like it would just become like going to sleep at midnight.
I feel like the first couple of weeks would probably be rough. Kind of having your body.
But I mean, you have to be up at 4 a.m., don't you, for your job?
Yeah, my alarm goes off about anywhere between 3:30 and 4 a.m. for the early
Can't
days
do
of
it,
my
brother.
job.
I'm a night owl. I like being up late. So
I do too. That was my whole before
really?
I got this gig, which I've been doing this gig for like 9 years now, so I'm used to it now. But before I got this gig, I was the opposite way. I worked 2 to 10, 3 to 11, or whatever. I would come home, hang out with my friends, play video games till 3 or 4 in the morning,
and sleep
till 11 or 12, and go back to work for 3, and that was my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a new job, and it was like, oh yeah, your second day at this new job, you got to be here at 4 a.m. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool. So that first open I had all those years ago, I didn't even go to bed. I tried to sleep at like 10 or 11, and I was like, my body clock it's not going to work. And I was like, okay. So I literally just was like, all right, I'll just be tired and go to sleep tomorrow. And then hopefully that'll kind of start the new body clock.
When you were like 14 years old and it could be like, you would be on break from school and you'd be like, let's stay up all night. Let's stay up for 24 hours. And you could just do it. And then you just
like nothing.
If I like stay up too late, I wake up the next day and I'm like, oh, well, I'm not doing anything today because I'm just so tired that I just can't.
Correct.
I want to be a teenager again. I really do.
Oh my God.
It's like if I could get anything for my birthday this year, it'd be like the ability to be a teenager again. How much easier was life? I used to think it was the worst time of my life. I hated school, hated it all. But I'm like, give me school now. School's a piece of cake.
You had no bills. No responsibility.
Literally, someone was taking care of you. You had your parents taking care of you.
Yeah. It was like to the extent where like it'd be a Friday night and my friends would be like, hey, you want to go see this movie? We'll get a group together, go see a movie. I'd be like, yeah. And I would just turn to my parents and be like, can I go to this movie? And they'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's
they're like
$20.
Because they're like, fuck off. They don't want to be around you.
But then they would give me money to go see the movie because I don't have a job. I'm friggin' 13 years old. I don't have a job.
And you would have to learn instead of being like feeling, when you buy something, you're like, oh man, can I buy that this week? Should I wait? Like, I got bills to pay. Like $20, you could be like, oh fucking hell yeah, $20. Like I'm a
movie
millionaire.
Ticket, popcorn. I'm gonna get a soda. play some video games in the small arcade before the movie. Oh,
soda. You guys see, that's another thing with Australia and America that's different.
You call it pop?
No, soft drink. Soft drink.
So we call it soda, yes, but I feel like the official term for it is soft drink. Like if you watch a commercial, it'll say in the fine print soft drink or something like that.
Yes, soft drink is what we call it. Pop. I've heard pop.
Soda.
Mags is here.
Soda pop, I think it was back in the day. And then, hey.
Mags, what's going on? Oh, God, I can't hear you. You're muted, buddy. Are you muted? Oh, no. We can't hear Mags. Oh,
no.
Oh, no, what's wrong? We can't hear Mags. Oh, my God. Everything's breaking.
There
we go. Look, now we can hear you.
Got it.
We're talking about...
I can't hear you.
What?
Brilliant.
Why can't you hear
This is going well. How's that?
Can you hear me now?
Yay.
Yay. Mags, what's going on?
Yeah, not too bad. I've just finished wrapping up on the volley, and I'm glad you were still sticking around so I can come
We'll be here for another 10 or so. We're just wrapping up. We've had Queen here, we've had JPQ here, we've had Pluggo here, we've had some people here popping in and saying hello. This has been a chaotic mess. We've been talking about nothing really. Like it's just been a chat.
They're the best episodes when you do that. When you just sit and shoot the shit.
Mm-hmm. That's what we've been doing. We were just talking about how they call it soda. We call it soft drink. What do you guys call it in what's it called in over there?
You mean pop?
Pop. See, they would call it pop.
That's what I said. I said pop. I said, what do you call it, pop? And you said soft drink.
Yeah, I know. I'd say soft drink. It's so weird. Like, why can't we just all call it the same thing? So annoying. And we're talking about how you watch a lot of UFC, you watch a lot of wrestling, so you're up at all fucking god hours of the day just watching sport. How is that experience? Because I'm loud when I watch sport or wrestling. Like I'm getting into it. You can't do that, can you? Because you have to be quiet, right? Or do you watch it with headphones?
No, I watch it on the projector in my podcast office / games room. But when you watched it on your own, you kind of a little bit muted, I suppose. But yeah, it's the hard life of being a podcaster of MMA. I mean, sometimes the show don't start till 3:00 over here, and then you're doing your live reactions afterwards. So Sundays I may not go to bed till 8:00 in the morning. So
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It's commitment. I tell you that. I'd be like, fuck off. I'm going to sleep. I watch this shit in the morning.
I mean, how many times have we done kind of like a pre-show for a WWE pay-per-view? I've done a lot of them on 4 hours sleep because I watched a UFC event the night before.
That's true, because a lot of it falls on the same weekend, and you're just like, well, here we go.
UFC's on pretty much every weekend now.
Yeah,
they've been the one sport in this pandemic era that have really kind of knuckled down and provided loads and loads of content. I think this weekend is the first weekend without an event in like 4 months. So,
damn. Wow. Are you an MMA guy at all, JPJ?
I watch the big, what they would consider the big fights. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I have friends that are big MMA people. So if they're watching the show or they're like, hey, I'm ordering it or whatever, or they want to come over and I'll order it and I'll chip in or whatever. Like, yeah, if there's big fights and things like that, but I'm not an avid follower. I mean, I keep up with it. I in all sports, like I know who's like, you know how many like NASCAR, which is racing over here. You know how many races I've watched in my life? Like less than a dozen, but I know who's leading it every week. Like I'm just that kind of person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a stats fan, and like Josh said, keeping tabs. For me, UFC is the go-to. Even over wrestling nowadays. Even if I didn't do a podcast about UFC, I'd still watch it because we've watched from pretty much day one. Both my sons are big into UFC. Carlos, he's looking to hopefully break into the UFC within his MMA career. So it's always been a thing in our family. It's just once I started podcasting, it was a simple thing to transition to, talking about something that we've watched all along. But yeah, I would watch any UFC event from the biggest to the smallest. So yeah, it just makes sense for me to record a podcast about it.
I am not. The last UFC fight I watched in full was when Ronda lost to Holly Holm in Melbourne.
Really?
That was years and years ago. That was the last. I've probably watched 3 whole UFC cards in my life. Not for me. I don't hate it. And I know kind of like a little bit about it if I just see it on social media, because UFC is huge. Like, it's a big deal, obviously. So it's hard to not know some fighters and stuff, and see little clips here and there of like some cool knockouts and stuff like that. I don't know. I think I'm a lot of people that like pro wrestling like MMA as well, because they can kind of see there's a lot of similarities between it. But I think I'm too much of a pro wrestling guy. I'm like, oh, who's going to cash in this fight? Like, I'm like, what's going on here? Like, what's the story here? Who stole the egg
what's
here?
The shenanigans that are go on here?
Yeah, like do they have a faction? Like, what's going on here? But that's my kind of take on it. But that's the last UFC. So I to say that I've never watched a UFC fight is a lie. I have watched UFC fights before, but that was the last one I can remember sitting down and being like, I'm going to watch it. I watched it at a pub with a bunch of friends, and Ronda got fucked up.
Shit kicked in.
And that was in Melbourne, and that was a big deal, because that was one of the, I don't think it was Mags will correct me, but that wasn't the first, was that the first time UFC was in Australia?
I think it was the biggest one.
Yeah.
Until we got the likes of Robert Whittaker. He's now a massive star. Mark Hunt, he headlined a couple of big shows, but I think that was certainly the first time a title match had been in Australia. And that was in Melbourne, right? That was at Etihad Stadium, maybe? Yep. I don't know. I believe so. Yeah, and I just remember watching that because Ronda, that was the first time she got beat, right?
Yeah, and then Nunes beat her.
Yeah. And Ronda just kind of dipped off from MMA.
She's like, I'm going to WWE. Yeah, she's like, I'm out of here.
I think Ronda realized that she didn't like being punched in the face. She'd won pretty much all of her matches through judo and her arm barring, and she'd never really been hit. Holly Holm scared her to death.
Holly Holm certainly hit her. She certainly hit her right in the face.
Yeah. And then Nunes finished her off, and that she was like, nope, I'm done. I'll go and take the fake punches from WWE. They make way more sense and probably a lot more money.
Yeah, probably a lot more money.
There's actually a fighter in the UFC that I know. And he's younger than me, but I grew up with his older brother. He's from my hometown. Calvin Cater is his name.
Oh yeah.
The Boston Bomber. They call him something like that. The Boston something. I think he lost his last big fight against Max Holloway, but he's like kind of a younger guy, kind of coming up in the game. But he's had a couple like main card fights that besides Holloway, he's won. But he's literally like, I went to school and played like in town, like baseball with his older brother. So like, I know that family, I know him.
That's your claim to fame, JPJ. There you go. You should lead with that in more episodes.
And they even say like the town that I grew up in's name. They say like it's called Methuen, Massachusetts, but they even say like from Methuen. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell, Methuen, Mass getting
Isn't it like the greatest feeling in the world when you see like a sports star and they announce they're from where you're from, and you're like, that's where I'm from. Like, wow, oh my God.
With some little town. Usually if anybody gets famous from around here, they just say, oh, he's from Boston. He's from Boston. It's a half-hour ride. He's from Boston. But like to actually hear Methuen, Mass, and I'm like, wow, that's where I grew up. My mom still lives there. Like, that's wild, you know? It's crazy.
I can kind of like piggyback off that as well. I mean, you'll all know the fighter Michael Bisping. He's always billed as being from Manchester, England. He's not from Manchester. He's from a town called Clitheroe, which is about 15 minutes away from where I live. We know, I've not really dealt with Mark a lot, but we know a lot of his kind of extended family. But he trained at the same gym that both my sons train at now, a place called Black Knights. And essentially he owes his whole career to the coach, Alan there. Before he got into MMA, he was a tearaway. He was always in trouble with the police. And this police officer said to him, look, you need to focus this anger, you need to focus this energy, because you're gonna go to prison. And he actually introduced him to Alan, the sensei down at the gym, and it led to him being a UFC champion. So Carlos has kind of got that to build off as like motivation. He spoke with Michael a few times. He's been involved in a few of the kind of award ceremonies that they have there. So yeah, it's a small world how you've got that link to a UFC fighter, just like we have. It's it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm not linked to anybody, but my only people Rhea Ripley,
seen a UFC.
I know Rhea Ripley. She's from Adelaide, and Jonah. He's from
he just showed up.
He's
Impact,
like
right?
he grew up
in Japan.
He grew up like an hour from me, so that's kind of cool. But they're the only people I really have. No one's
John
ever
Cena, John Cena, or as Santino used to call him, John Chena.
John Chena.
He is billed from West Newbury. They do the West Newbury instead of Boston, and West Newbury is literally 2 towns over from where I am right now. Like John Cena's house is like where his parents still live.
I think I know John Cena. Who's he? Has he done anything cool in his life?
You may know him as Juan Cena.
Ah, yes, the famous. Yes, of course. Mexican legend. Yeah, John's done a couple of things here and there. We've asked everyone this, Mags, in this over this hour and a half that we've been recording. Who stole the egg from Vince McMahon? Did you watch Survivor Series yesterday?
Did I watch Survivor Series?
True.
Do you really think?
Wasn't it garbage, man? It was bad. I thought it was awful. Truly, I thought it was really bad.
It was not.
We've said that to everyone.
I think we all had that opinion leading up to it.
Because it means nothing.
It means happening.
Literally nothing. The teams were put together by two officials that are on both fucking shows. Nothing matters.
They announced the teams. And then they changed half the fucking teams.
But the question of it, leading into Raw, what they want us to watch going into Raw is who stole the egg, and what does it mean? It's $100 million egg. Who do you think?
I'm going to say it was Happy Corbin.
Oh, Happy Corbin stole the egg. Wow.
He just got rich again. He's in a good mood. Why not get rich?
Matt and his friend. What is it? Mad Dog Moss. Mad Dog. Whatever. Mad Dog. He. What the fuck? So my sister was watching this with me, and she has not tapped into a lot of wrestling lately. She's like, "We'll come watch it," and she's like, "So Happy Corbin come out." She goes, "Is his name Happy? Is that his shoot fucking name?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Who the fuck is his friend?" I'm like, "Mad Dog or Mad Cap or whatever his name." And she goes, "What the hell is going on?" She goes, "Why is Xavier Woods a king?" And then she was like, "Queen Zelina, what is going on here?" That women's Survivor Series match, this is going to be surprising coming from me, was one of the worst things I've ever watched. It was truly awful.
That actually surprised me because we've said on our recordings how the leading to pay-per-views have been shit for a long time. But the pay-per-views usually deliver.
Yeah.
We usually have decent matches. So to hear that the Survivor Series show was terrible.
Utter rubbish.
Actually,
garbage.
In terms of the egg, I mean, we'll get around to it.
Fucking hell.
I think this should lead to Vince McMahon actually being senile, having dementia, and there was no egg there in the first place.
But we all seen the egg.
No, but how many movies do you watch where you see something and it's not really there?
Oh, true. But didn't other people see it? I don't fucking know. Does
it have to make sense? You're talking about WWE.
Yeah, that's true.
I was gonna say, so to be nothing already doesn't make sense.
It's like we said it earlier in the show. We thought Becky and Charlotte and the men's Survivor Series matches were both really good, but then it just took a dip. And my God, I hate saying this about it wasn't the actual ladies in the. But I will say something. Watching it with people that don't watch a lot of wrestling anymore, the ladies were coming out and they were like, I don't know who any of these people are. Why are they here? Like, where's all their stars gone? And I'm like, they've literally got rid of them all. all the ones that can keep the glue that was holding a lot of that match together. Thankfully, Bianca was in there, Sasha was in there. They were the glue that kind of trying to fundamentally kept that match together. This is no knock on Rhea and anything like that. They're all great, talented women, but they just haven't found their spotting. They've not found their, maybe Rhea maybe is the exception, and I don't know, maybe not having Liv Morgan be beat in the middle of a match when she's going up against the top star
to Becky Lynch.
You know, maybe that wasn't the best booking in that sense. Like, and then the way that Belair won, it was odd, and I was just like, I was happy, and I'm never like this with women. I was happy when that match ended. I was like, thank God. And that crowd was shitting on it, and kind of rightfully so. It was just really bad.
Yeah, they were doing CM Punk chants.
I was like, this is just really... And when Banks got eliminated, I was like, that's the worst thing you can do right now is eliminate her. And the way she got eliminated, the way, like, Mella got eliminated so fast at the beginning because she was trying to put on a fucking mask. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And the men's Survivor Series match, we're talking about Jeff Hardy before, Mags. It was good to see Jeff in that get a little bit of a shine again because I think he's been really used really weirdly, and we haven't got a lot more of Jeff Hardy left in us. You know, we haven't. We're on the back end.
And wasn't it around a year ago that he was throwing piss in Sheamus's face?
Yeah.
Legitimately. What's he done since?
Nothing.
Yeah, he's done next to nothing. Next to nothing. And, you know, JPJ was saying, Mags, that maybe they're getting ready for maybe Jeff and Roman at maybe the Rumble for Jeff's kind of one last little hoorah.
I mean, I think Jeff 100. Yeah, I think 100% at some point. The Rumble I just throw out there because it's a big event. Jeff Hardy's former champion. Like, it makes sense. But 100%, like, Jeff Hardy has to be in the line of guy. Who else is Roman going to fight? He's going to fight Woods. He's going to fight Drew again at some point.
Brock's on the cards.
Who else does SmackDown have? Brock. He's going to go for Brock again at some point too. I think that's the Mania match is what I think, because I don't think The Rock is going to be there.
No.
Jeff Hardy's perfect. He's a Hall of Famer, former world champion.
Over is all.
Makes sense.
One of the most over people on the roster, to be completely honest.
He was getting easily, when he was in that Survivor Series match, he was getting the most cheers when he was going. Like, he was over.
I did not expect Jeff to be the last one in there. I thought Jeff would be the first one out, to be completely fair. So
yeah,
I
think that's
I don't
what
think
a lot of people probably thought.
No one ever hates Jeff Hardy. Yeah, I know that's awful. I love Jeff Hardy. I don't think there's a person on planet Earth that likes wrestling that hates Jeff Hardy. Who hates Jeff Hardy? No, exactly. It's Jeff Hardy. But like, it was really well done in the way Seth won, and that I really enjoyed the men's Survivor Series match. So I won't take away that. And Big E Roman, I was just so spent by the time that was on that I was just kind of like, I could have turned it off because I was like, this literally means nothing. It doesn't matter who wins this match because it means today on Raw, it means nothing. You know, going forward, it doesn't. Big E's going to continue to feud with Owens and Seth Rollins, and I mean, you know what I mean? It just doesn't matter. There needs to be. I don't mind this whole brand versus brand thing. Like, whatever. It's probably a little dated, but whatever. But at least make it matter. Like, have something on the line. Like, it doesn't have to be titles. It just has to be like, I don't know. Just make it matter. Make it matter to me.
How about the winning brands? So they have the women's match and the men's match, correct? The winning brand, they get the main event at WrestleMania.
But doesn't that kind of diminish the Rumble?
The Rumble, then, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I remember.
I'm trying to think of like
something. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Maybe I remember maybe like the winning brand. It's a guaranteed. A Raw superstar will be the 30th entrant.
Yeah,
yes,
or
I mean,
and then they can battle it out.
They have some. I mean, didn't they used to have the winning team would be a general manager?
Yeah,
of an episode.
I remember that.
For a week.
Yeah.
A night.
Yeah.
Why can't we do something like that, or at least say they get a fucking trophy? I mean, we had that Battle Royal was a 15-minute ad for Pizza Hut, and they didn't even give the winner the Pizza Hut. The Street Profits stole it. So I don't understand what happened there. I really don't. I that's when the show really worked weird for me. I was like, this is getting odd.
How do you not have that Battle Royal on the pre? Why is that Battle Royal not on the pre-show?
Why is AJ Styles in that Battle Royal?
Which was a good match until the finish on the main card. I just don't understand. And then there was a report before the event that Becky and Charlotte were going to main event and Roman and Big E were going to open. And then right before the show,
they switched it.
Sean Ross Sapp sent out another report and said, "Oh, they flipped it. Roman and Big E."
See, Becky and Charlotte should have main evented me because it was the only match that actually had any
meant anything
because we know like there's been some stuff going on, and they had a pretty damn decent match in my opinion. The finish was what it was, but good. The finish was a little awkward. More than maybe that was more on execution than it was on paper how it was meant to. But it just felt a little awkward. I understand what they were going for, but even still, I mean, regardless of what is real and what isn't, and blah blah blah, Becky and Charlotte are like they know how to. They have chemistry, and there was you could tell there was a lot of whether it was worked or not. They had a lot of stiffness in that match. I've seen a couple of shots get in there, and I was like, "Oh man, that's
a little bit." Yeah, but they're just extra or something behind.
Out of the 4 horsewomen of that group, it's like they're the ones, and then Bayley and Sasha are the ones that kind of they click the best with each other. Of course, they all have matches with one another, but I don't think there's ever a time where Charlotte and Becky will be in the ring and it's not decent. Even circumstances.
I mean, the last woman standing match from Evolution is one of the better, one of my favorite matches you'll ever see.
One of the best matches I've ever seen. It's genuinely so
I was going to say, it doesn't even have to be women's, like just one of the best matches in general. Yeah. Like it was so good.
I think the issue for me, especially for someone who hasn't watched main roster wrestling in any kind of regular form for well over a decade now, there's nothing to draw me in. There's nothing.
Except the egg. You got to go watch Raw for the egg, right? You got to know who's going to steal the egg.
Or I'll just find out on Twitter.
That's how I watch Raw too.
Yeah. There's nothing on main roster that draws me in.
No.
And even when they bring out, I mean, I'm a massive NXT mark. Josh knows this. But even when someone gets called up, I kind of like,
I go,
I won't even bother kind of checking on what they're doing because I know they're going to flop. They're not going to get pushed, or their events are going to get cut. And it just seems to be happening time and time again. I have no interest whatsoever in main roster.
I don't blame you.
And I suppose that's what they're aiming for. Not particularly me not being interested, but throwing out so many different shows that you are going to like one of them at least.
That's true. That's a good way to look at it, actually. Is they're trying to just... WWE's problem is they try to appeal to everybody, and you can't appeal to everybody. You need to niche down on an audience and go, this is what we're appealing to, and we're not going to worry about anything else. We're going to gain our fans this way, which is a lot of people will disagree with that analogy, but I think that's what AEW does really well. Is that like, no, we're appealing to wrestling fans. We're not trying to get in other people that aren't watching wrestling. Yes, a lot of people are like, but you can't grow. But I'm like, you can grow because people will be like, this is what wrestling is, and this is what it's meant to look like, so we're going to put it on here. I've been a very big advocate of NXT 2.0. I'm a big fan of it. I like it. It's very different to any other wrestling that's on television, and I don't care what anyone says to me, it still focuses on wrestling. Yes, there's a little bit of a different feel. It still when it matters, the wrestling does matter. We've seen that at like Halloween Havoc and stuff like that. It's a lot of wrestling, and it's still giving a lot of time to a lot of things. It's just a little bit more faster paced on a week-to-week basis now. And also, the last couple of months has been very difficult for NXTs because we're introducing so many fresh faces that we have no idea who these people are, and it's taking a little bit of adjusting. But I'm a big fan of NXT 2.0. Have you been watching it, Mags? Do you like it?
Yeah, I think this is very reminiscent of the original kind of week-to-week NXT show. I think, and you were kind of like skirting along the point then. I think with NXT being thrust into that competing with AEW kind of mold.
It killed them.
Yeah, it took away the whole point of what NXT was about. It was about creating new stars for the main roster, and what it ended up being was we need to pack this out with stars as well, and it became a third WWE brand, and it got stale because of that. It was always trying to book on the fly, competing with AEW. When they finally gave that ghost up and realized we're not going to be able to compete with that, we'll take it back to basics. And I think with the newer characters, it seems fresher. It seems, like you said, more wrestling orientated. We're seeing some potential huge stars coming through the ranks, and they've cleared a lot of dead wood. There was a lot of people in NXT, which was meant to be a developmental brand, who looked like they were never going to translate over to main roster. So why were they there on purpose? And I'm not a huge fan of all the cuts, but I see the point from a business side that these wrestlers were never going to be the big stars that WWE wanted them to be, to let them go. It sucks, but it's a thing that NXT needed to happen, and I think it's a better show because of it.
100%. So last week, when these latest batches of releases, by the time this releases, who fucking knows, will be cut by then. But you were actually live on Between Two Beers when the cuts were going down, JPJ. Yes. Which is interesting to see. We won't get into the business of releases and what we actually think about the actual releases itself, but what we can talk about, seeing as we're trying to talk about something so exciting, is that it's a pretty cool time, isn't it? We're going to see a lot of talent popping up in a lot of places. I personally can't wait for Tegan Nox to be in other places because I think the world of her, and I don't know how you get rid of someone like her, but that's neither here nor there. But Taya Valkyrie and John Morrison.
That one blew me away. Taya Valkyrie absolutely blew me away because I thought she would be primed to be a big star on Raw or on
Too old though, of course, Mag. She's in her late 30s.
So for me, ridiculous. Look at it. It always stinks with all the batches of releases, but for me, it was on the last batch. It's Keith Lee for me. I look at someone like Keith Lee and I'm like, how can you not figure that out? How can you not figure out that guy could be one of the guys that carries your company, literally, carries your company?
Same with Mia Yim as well. I think she was so wasted on main roster. It's unreal. We did a show on Chair Shot recently, creating a promotion with the released talents just from this year, and we had so many to pick from who could be big stars in a promotion, but you're just not given that opportunity, and it absolutely sucks.
It sucks, man. I know Mags would have probably thought of me when Eva Marie got released. But even still, I know people hate Eva Marie, but you rehired her how long ago? And she's already gone.
Like less than a year ago.
I understand. There's some things going on with we don't know whether it was to vaccination status and stuff like that. We know how Eva is as a human being, but even still, but Nia Jax was always the one that surprised me most, to be completely honest, just because of she's related to The Rock. Everything that was going on. I thought Nia Jax was one of those talent. I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions on Nia Jax, and that's fine. But taking away everything else, she was a talent that I thought would be a WWE talent for as long as she's seen fit. I never thought that she would be. I never thought we'd see the name Nia Jax released. It's just not one I ever thought would see released. But regardless of anything, of the actual releases itself, it creates an open talent pool for a lot of companies to pick up, whether it's New Japan or Impact or AEW or whoever. I was going to say Ring of Honor, but we don't really know what's happening with Ring of Honor going on. But it's just
what do you think about all those talents though too?
We've got that too. That
free potentially as well. You know, that's a big boom for just wrestling in general. All of it.
Yeah,
you know?
It's exciting.
Whoever picks up Jonathan Gresham got a star, because that guy is the new day Daniel Bryan. He's so damn good. And then
Mike and Maria for me is where are Mike and Maria going? Yeah, I love those two, and I'd love to see them, whether they go back to Impact or they pop up in AEW. I think they were a misused thing that could have been a lot better in WWE. I like their dynamic, and I think I've always said that to you, Mags, is I really like Mike and Maria's dynamic they bring to television. They're television wrestlers to me. They're not, no offense to independent wrestling, I don't mean this as a knock, but they are television stars. And I just think wherever they decide that they're going to go, wherever that's kind of on the cards for them to go, I've always said they're the ones for me. But it's just, regardless of where anyone kind of falls, it's good for other companies to get some fresh talent and stuff like that. I know a lot of people say AEW can't sign everyone, and they don't sign everybody, but there is certain talent from these last kind of batches of releases that I'm like, oh wait, you got to go over to there. Like, you've got to see a Keith Lee over in AEW. Yep. I want to see Ember Moon. Ember Moon is like, come on. Like, we need to boost that women's division up. I've ranted about AEW's women's division a lot. I'm glad they're getting a bit more time, but we certainly need, I'm sorry, but quantity does matter sometimes, and we need multiple matches on Dynamite. We need multiple stuff. It can't be just the women's match of the night, but there is multiple stories going on now. Like, the TBS Championship Tournament's getting a lot of time, I've noticed, and stuff like that. So that's good. Like, Nyla Rose and Hikaru Shida got a lot of time on Dynamite last week, which was fantastic. And, you know, other matches are getting time. I thought the buy-in match at Full Gear was fantastic. That tag match at Full Gear was really, really good. So that's a good thing. But I want to see Ember Moon. I'd love to see Tegan Nox over in AEW. I think it would be cool dynamic to see those kind of people over there. But the talent pool is really accessible. But we probably need to wrap things up. We've nearly been recording for 2 hours, so we need to wrap things up. But we've had a whole line of guests. Mags, you're the last one, so last is best. Is that how it would go?
I'm the draw. I'm I'll take the show home.
Mags is one of my favorite pieces of shit in the world.
and he says that with that mustache on his face. How dare
he hates like every TikTok that I ever make. I swear, it's like Mags commented, and it's just like that mustache is like criminal or some bullshit like that. And I'm like, I feel like you're the only person in the world that fucking hates my mo. I love my. I every time I think about shaving it off, I'm like, I can't. Not for Mags. Mags has got to be witness to this.
Because he'll win. I can't give him that dub.
You'll never win. Never win over me, Mags. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, I was getting ready to end the
outro.
Yeah, I think that's what I was doing. Thanks. Yeah, cheers.
The professional.
Yeah, that's what JPJ's here for. He's the brains. He takes all the notes for everything, and I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? Well, I record it and shit like that. Somehow it gets out to. Somehow it gets out there. So who fucking knows?
And it's a great show. I love the dynamic you've got.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to do. So yeah.
We met through Love Wrestling and stuff like that. So it's cool to just do stuff off the Love Wrestling side of things. But
yeah, and one of the biggest thing that kills me about being a content creator is that I can't do any more for Love Wrestling. Being part of that Sunday brunch and just there's just not enough hours in the day, unfortunately. I really miss a lot. I miss working with those guys, and hopefully the schedule will sort out that I can appear on there a lot more. But it's a great team. I love being
Spencer's got a good bunch.
Yeah, I love being kind of like on the periphery of that team. They got some great creators, and Josh, obviously.
Go fuck yourself, Mags. Truly.
Just me.
How dare you? On my birthday.
You have a shitty birthday.
You piece of shit. I do like Mags. I think somewhere down here there's this. I think it's love. I sometimes get it mixed up because it's like, is it love or am I about to vomit? Not sure. But it's one of them. It's one of them. Ha.
And I hate your face.
Yeah, well.
But no, I think you're amazing.
I think you're great too.
We've spoke multiple times on how shitty we are with each other on camera, but I've always got you back.
Yeah,
I always have.
Back at you. See, we can be nice to one another, but we keep the gimmick alive.
Never happen again.
We keep the gimmick alive because I've had some people talk to me like, "Do you guys actually not like each other?" I'm like, "Yeah, I hate him."
Oh, I never put Josh over. Never.
No.
I always call him
today. Maybe just a smidge because of the birthday.
Sometimes,
but that's about it.
Yeah. But this is we've had a wild episode.
Now.
We've had
30 now. Is that old, Joe?
Okay, yeah, you're 87, so you need to calm it down. You and your pet T-Rex when you were a kid, so calm down. So yeah, well, old man Mags, he knows all about being 30 fucking 60 years ago, whatever the fuck it was. So, there's that. But anyway, this has been a wild episode. We've had a lot of fun. I'll put everyone's links in the description below because it's been too hard trying to capture it up. But we've had a fun time. Thanks for hanging out for my birthday. My birthday.
Happy birthday.
My birthday.
Happy birthday to
you.
Bitch.
Happy birthday.
I would have done happy birthday to
bitch. You. Oh my God, I hate.
Happy birthday, dear
Joshua.
Oh, hell.
And you smell like 1, 2.
You know when you sit there and you get happy birthday sung at you by everyone and you just kind of like
cringe.
You're like, what do I do? What's going on here? Like, fuck. But it is what it is. But yeah, okay. Thanks everyone. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I'm just gonna kind of wrap this up. You know where to find us. You know where to do all that. I'll keep all the links to our stuff as well in the description below. We'll see you for regularly scheduled content next week back here on the J&J Power Hour. JPJ, anything you want to add before we sign off? I mean, you're frozen on my screen anyway, so it's fine.
Am I frozen?
Yeah, you're frozen. It's fine though.
I'm not frozen on my screen, but I got nothing to add. Just this was a lot of fun. Happy birthday. I hope the day is grand for you. But other than that, no, just happy birthday.
All right, everyone then. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.